That is right. Surgeon Sparks has been out for almost a month, give or take a few days. And wow, have the prices, well, let's just face it, they're all over the place. They're literally all over the place. Some have gone up ridiculous amounts, some have gone down. And normally when I do one of these videos, when I do my price updates, normally it's within a week or two. This has a bit more time. And normally I'd say to you, don't buy early, don't pay exorbitant prices. Prices will come down. The market will find its footing and the floor, and we'll all be fine. And well, this video might be slightly different is all I'm going to say. This might be the set that changes it. Now, whether it changes it for Scarlet and Violet going forward, whether it just is for Surgeon Sparks, and when I say Surgeon Sparks, will that bleed into Prismatic Evolutions and into sets going into next year, especially with the Team Rocket set and the Gym Hero set, and with all the core sets that are coming out for Scarlet and Violet next year. And I think it's its final year of Scarlet and Violet, if I'm correct. Unless I'm slightly wrong in that, but I don't know why I feel like that's it for Scarlet and Violet. Wow, that's gone quickly. So yeah, this video is literally going into the prices, and well, do you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's just go straight into this. This is going to be slightly different, and yeah, it's definitely worth looking at this. And obviously I'll be using TCG Player, but I'll also be talking about it a little bit from a US and UK perspective, because some of the stuff that's we'll see doesn't actually make sense from me in my local market, literally physically going to shops around, and just the UK market in general. It is different. So Surgeon Sparks, we'll get straight into it. So we can go through some sealed bits and pieces and then into the cards. And yes, Pikachu will be on this, and yeah, just make sure you're staying around and watching this, because it will be interesting to see what's going on with that one in particular. I think I've already mentioned it in one of my previous videos as what's going on about Pikachu, but it's probably the biggest card of Scarlet and Violet era. That's right, the biggest Scarlet and Violet era card around. And with that, let's get onto it. So the booster box MSRP in the UK is £143. In the US, it's what, 163, is it? I believe. Wow, my mind's gone blank already doing this video. Anyways, most booster boxes that come out, at least for Scarlet and Violet era, are around the $100, £100 mark, £90 to £100 mark. But it needs to get hold of, no issues there whatsoever. And well, Surgeon Sparks is not that. Basically, Surgeon Sparks on release day sold out, pre-orders, you name it, then came back in stock. Well, I say back in stock. Obviously, on release day, lots of it was able to be bought, and within a week, it's sort of gone out. And as a result, well, simple supply and demand. It is a short supplied product. Well, short supplied set even, not product. There probably will be a reprint. When that will be, I don't know. When that will affect prices, that's for future might to worry about. And it might be a year, it could be 6 months. So let's not worry about that. However, this booster box is going for, that's right, at the moment, $205. That's right, we've reached the $200 mark on a booster box of Surgeon Sparks. Put that in perspective for everyone. Just look at this graph, okay? Just under a month at the time of recording, and it's already a very sharp line up. Will it go up much more than this? Well, it could get to 240, I reckon. I do feel like it will actually come down as obviously Prismatic Evolution starts coming out, and we go into the new year. It will drop, but it's not because there's necessarily more booster boxes on in the market. It's just people putting money elsewhere in the hobby. And I'll be doing a video about where I would be investing at the moment outside of Surgeon Sparks and Prismatic Evolutions, because there's some great deals going on, but already their prices are sort of starting to climb. So yeah, make sure you subscribe for that, because that video I've enjoyed doing the research for that video. So yes, I look forward to that. So what does this mean for Surgeon Sparks in general? Well, it just means that most people, including myself, won't be opening up a booster box if you buy booster box to open. And investing in this set is going to be interesting. It might be you've missed the boat on it for now. I personally wouldn't be buying any booster boxes or sealed cases, because there's a premium price in it, and I feel like you've missed the point on it. You've missed the mark on it at the moment. However, if this does start dropping, and it's one of those you've got to keep an eye on, then definitely potentially pick up as an investment piece. To open, I think it's just much cheaper products to buy on the market out there if you want to open packs of Surgeon Sparks. Definitely don't worry about booster boxes. I believe booster boxes right now are purely for people who do like rip and ships, investing. And when I say investing, I don't mean for a year, I mean proper long term. I'm not going to put scalpers in this. I hate them. Okay, it's a bit harsh. I don't hate them as in like really badly, but I just hate the ideal of scalping. I've already seen some videos about Black Friday, Pokemon specific, and yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, we need to stop that, but it's not just Pokemon. Anyway, little rant there. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, no booster box in Scarlet and Violet has done this. It's the first one to go up. I mean, Twilight Masquerade, we started to see it. It went up to like the one in the UK. It definitely went up to like £140, so 160 to $180. This one, however, has surpassed that completely. So we definitely need to keep an eye on this. But as you noticed, at least on TCG Player, the amount that's sold is going down a little bit as the price goes up. So, you know, this might start to sort of curve down a bit. I reckon this will come down, like genuinely come back down to like the $160 mark. Like, I don't see it going much lower. I don't think you'll see it at like 140, 120. If it does, great. I would definitely pick some up at that point. But for now, definitely not. And I don't see it come down quickly. It might be a gradual sort of pull down as I said, more and more people are putting money into other places in the market. So that's the booster box. It's, like I said, Scarlet and Violet era has not been great when it comes to booster box prices in terms of the value in it and the prices going up. Soldier's Box has changed that. Whether it stays at that for the rest of Scarlet and Violet, or it's just a small bubble, or if it's just set itself is just an amazing set, only time will tell. We'll look back on it and be able to say that. But for now, it's one of those, accept what it is. If you haven't got the money, don't buy it. And in fact, the theme for this video, for this pricing, isn't going to be don't buy it early. Be silly to buy it at silly prices. It's probably more of a case of don't have the money, don't buy it, don't get into debt, don't FOMO. It's all good. If you want to know more about that, then I'll leave my last video in the description down below, because I go into that a bit more detail. I definitely think it's not a warning, but I definitely think people need to be aware of that with the hobby at the moment, and especially Surgeon Sparks. Next, we have the ETB, but the Pokemon Center exclusive. Now, in my last video, I got this slightly wrong about the price being really high, especially on TCG Player, and that's just because those that haven't got access to a Pokemon Center, so for example, the UK has one, the US have one, Japan, etc. Those that don't, the only way of getting it is on a secondary market, so naturally the prices are inflated. Normally when I do my videos, I'm like, why is it 160? Why would you ever pay that? It is literally because of that reason. And then obviously with release, it made sense that it came plummeting down because the market got flooded with it basically. And also what Pokemon Center does quite a lot on sets is a week or two before the actual release of a set, everything goes sold out. And then on release day, there's an allocation. So they put more stock on. It goes very quickly, but you can then buy it at normal price, RRP or MSRP, depending how you say it. So naturally, the price is going to go down. Okay, $100 for this, and it stayed within that, so it's gained 10. It's a small increase. I do think a lot of people scalped this, to be fair, and as a result of that, this probably hasn't seen the price increase that everyone wants it to be. Granted, it's $54.99 on the Pokemon Center. So you could argue you've made profit. And I feel like it's a lot of scalpers doing that instead of people trying to invest in it as such. So definitely on the Pokemon Center exclusive, because there's only a limited supply, this will never drop down too cheap. So again, if you want to get one of these on the secondary market, I would just save up for it. I wouldn't just splurge all your money on it. I would save up and go, do you know what? I'll save up to $100 to buy it. Pokemon market in general could come crashing down, and every product come down. So yeah, so reasonable price, it has increased, but yeah, this is one of those that unfortunately you always pay a premium for. Pokemon Center exclusive ETB in the Scarlet and Violet era, at least at the moment, because it comes with the promo. Obviously, that's exclusive, etc. I mean, the Magneton promo in this, if you open one up, you kind of got your money back straight away almost. Definitely the sort of scalper market, shall we say, I believe, on this one in particular. But premium products always going to come with a high price tag. And then apart from the the PC exclusive, we have the normal one. So it's how to put this. This is a weird one for me. So $44. This is one of those products where you should have picked up at pre-order. I know I keep saying this, don't overspend. However, sealed items for pre-order a lot of the time are cheaper. Not always, but ETBs in particular, $44. So this was like £40, £38. By me, £40 was where you could get it, £40 to £45. Now lots of places are £45. Which is, to be fair, around the $50 to $54 mark. And you notice, obviously, on release day is that initial drop, and it's just kind of gone up from there. Okay, it's gone up 35% according to, obviously, TCG Player, unless technically that is true. But MSRP, again, is around the $50 mark, and I'm struggling to understand this. So in the UK, normal ETBs, there's loads in the shops between £45 and £50, which to us is like standard pricing. It's nothing special. I wouldn't say it's high. In the US, it's gone up to this $59. But let me know in the comments down below. Can't you just go to like Target and Walmart and it's around the $50 mark. And I know some people talk about, like, is it Maya that is $60? But yeah, these are the $50. So unless you don't have that, people internationally buying this, and if it's the international people buying this, then it's like, do we need to look at this slightly differently going forward? Either way, I do think people are overpaying for the CTB. It's a nice CTB. Is it anything special? No, it's got a nice promo in it. But I think there's loads of these around. It's probably the best way of getting card value for cards outside, obviously, the booster bundle. You get the promo in it, so I'd be picking these up if you want to open Surging Sparks, basically. That's what I'd be doing. You know, don't worry about the booster boxes. ETBs are where at. Booster bundles, to get hold of them. But don't worry too much in terms of which one you get. You've got the free pack list. There are plenty of other products out there. Now, before we get into some of the cards, I'm not going to go to every single card because there's quite a lot in this set. I'm going to go through some of the key ones that I believe to have a look at. That shows sort of a myriad of prices and fluctuations. And of course, we'll be looking at the Pikachu because, well, you can't talk about this set without talking about the special illustration rare Pikachu EX. But before we get into Pikachu, we're going to get onto, which I believe is the second most expensive card in the entire set, is the Latias EX Special Illustration Rare. Now, this is a lovely card. It's a very playable card. That being said, it is an absolutely crazy artwork. I love it, especially when you have the Latias and Latios. You can kind of put them next to each other. They're kind of looking back on each other, or at least that's how I'm looking at the artworks. But yeah, absolutely amazing. However, I'm not understanding this $400. I do not think it is $400. It's available via TCG Player Direct. Yeah, not sure on that. The reason why I say that is because look at the pricing for this, okay? It's around the $200 mark. And what I say is, before the set came out, you know, pre-release, it had that sort of classic, overhyped, boom. Came out 180, so it's always going to be a high price. That's fine, except this was always going to be a high price card. I do think it's got a Surging Sparks tax on it. If this came out in, say, another set, I don't know, Paradox Rift, for example, this would not be 180. It'd probably be closer to the 100 mark. But that's another discussion to have. It's always going to be a high card. 180 is the lowest it's been, give or take. And its price has sort of gone up and down. What, one sold at, or four sold at 208, one sold at 207. It dropped. People thought, great, it's back down to around the $180 mark. Well, buys back up and it's kind of come back up. So that's kind of what we see as a price swing here. It did the initial, don't buy it at silly prices before the sets come out. The market will be flooded with it. However, it's kind of kept its price point. So actually, you probably haven't lost that much if you did buy it at 220. Normally, I'm an advocate for not doing this, but this is one where actually you've probably not lost out. And this card in particular, I think will keep fluctuating as it is. I don't think the swings will be as big, and I think it's going to stay sort of around the $190 to $200 mark. I reckon this will drop to like 150. I genuinely think that. So I'm not buying this card right now. I genuinely believe it is going to keep fluctuating and then it'll have a small drop before it then comes back up. So what have we got here? Okay, so this is not the Pikachu EX, but it is a Pikachu EX. So it's the gold version. So there's a couple of gold cards on here, and I'm going to why in a second. But this is the first Pikachu on our list as well. So gold cards are an interesting one. Some gold cards are really good. For example, what is it? The Palkia, Dialga, I can't remember what they are from. Was it Crown Zenith, I believe? Or yeah, we'll go with that. Love them. Amazing gold cards. And there are some really good gold cards out there. This to me is not that great of a gold card in terms of what it looks like. It's nothing special to me. It's pretty meh. However, it is a Pikachu EX, so it's playable. If you want to make a deck look better but don't have $400, $500, $600, then this is next best, I guess. So yeah, not a great, but I think it's a Pikachu X and a gold card. So it's kind of had that premium pot on it, even though I do not believe it is a premium. But if we go into it, this was one of those, however, you would want to buy it at the $40 mark when it first came out. Even at $50, you would have gone, sure, because you would have doubled your money. Now, I wouldn't say it's scalping, that's just short term. It's also risky because we've seen similar cards to Pikachu EX in gold in the past, and it's definitely not done this, okay? So this is definitely an outlier, I believe, 154%. I wouldn't say it is normal for a gold card or this kind of gold card, but looking back on it, it's Pikachu EX. It's what this set is all about. We had the hype of the special illustration rare before the set came out. So the question is, if we look back at other sets, even in the Scarlet Violet era, of the gold cards of the big special illustration rare, do they follow a similar pricing? Do they follow a similar pricing trajectory? And if so, then unfortunately there'll be lots of scalpers, but also if you are looking to turn quick profits, you can. But it might be a case of other cards you buy around the 40, but they were only sold at like $60. Is it worth it? Depends on how many you have, etc. But this has definitely sort of bucked the trend. And even though it went up really high to the $127 mark, it has come down, but it's still around $100 for this gold card, which I don't even think that looks that cool. But again, it's Pikachu EX within the context of Surging Sparks, within the context of the Pokemon market currently. It's definitely an interesting one on there. Definitely one that's kind of bucked the trend of all the other videos of don't buy early. So yeah, I told you, this set is crazy, price all over the place. I told you it'd be different. Next, we get the Milotic EX, or Milotic, however you want to pronounce it. This is one of my favorite special illustration rares in the entire set. Obviously, if you get the Feebas illustration rare as well next to it, they look really cool together. I'm also going to change the filter to near mint, because I'm just looking at near mint at this point. I'm not looking at lightly played, because that's a whole nother conversation. So here we go. Apparently, someone's selling this for $300. Oof, why? It's just, I feel like it's the same people. Anyway, this isn't what the idea of this video. So this was touted as a $100 card when the set was announced and sort of first came out. This did what I would normally say. Don't buy it early. Like, why would you buy it early? You could have saved yourself $20 on this. That being said, within a few days of this set coming out, like a week, hit its floor of $80, which I would say was a good pickup for this. And it's kind of, it's not quite reached what it came up for, but as you can see, it's only lost 4% of its initial value for when it was first sold, at least on TCG Player. I think in Europe and UK, it's definitely cheaper in general, though conversions, etc. changed that a little bit. If you did buy this early, you wouldn't have actually lost a lot of money, which is weird, because at one point you did and you didn't. But literally within a month, this has regained its value. In another market or another set, again, this would probably still be falling and probably becoming like a $50 card. That's not the market we're in at the moment. I do say this, like I said, I feel like this is one of people's favourites card outside of the top two being Pikachu and Latias. So yes, so this is what's going to have a premium on it. Don't know why $300 is there. Maybe it's because I know they're selling it to like my IP address of being UK. I don't know. Either way, don't pay $300 when you can get this around the $100 mark or $95. I reckon this is actually slowly coming back down again. So it might come down to the $90. I reckon it will come down to about $85 to $90. That's where I'm seeing this card at the moment. So I'm keeping an eye on this card myself. It's not something I'm investing in. I just want to collect it to my master set, which I still haven't actually started with Surging Sparks, which is really weird for me. I'm normally opening a fair few packs, got most of the commons, uncommons, reverse, etc. But this set's different. Like I said, that's just, if you said Surging Sparks, how would you describe it? It's just different. Next card is actually one of my favorite illustration rares. Now I know there's still some secret special illustration rares to look at, but I just wanted to put this one out there. So I like Latios and Latias. So if you have the two together, you've got Latias looking over this way to the left, and if we go to Latios, it's looking back over this shoulder. So to me, they're kind of looking at each other potentially. I could be horrifically wrong there, but that's the kind of that's what I am getting from this card and what I'm pointing at. From a playability, nope. From a card itself, great. And this is what we normally talk about. Don't buy it early. It has dropped. So it's kind of got some like small peaks and troughs as you go down, and that's probably because it's Latios. And I reckon some people come off because Latias, and even that special illustration rare, has gone up, and it's a very good card. This one might be brought up as a result. At the same time, I do feel like this is not that high of a card right now. In terms of value, to me, $40 seems about right. Again, don't pay $67 unless that's like the market sentiment at the moment. But in terms of like actual market, one was $30, but there you go. I would say the $40 mark is about correct at the moment. If you can get it for the 30 to 35 and it's still near mint, I'll obviously 100% go for it. But this is kind of the more sort of what we usually see for a lot of the illustration rares going down. I thought I'd put that in here just as some cards do what all the other sets have done. So I thought I'd just put that in there before we go into more special illustration rares. So we have the Durant EX. What I love about this is you can have infinite amount of these cards and they will all infinitely go side by side to create an amazing chain of Durants. If I had lots of money, so please subscribe to the channel so I can monetize like as well, and whatever you can possible, comment, you name it, and then buy as many of these as possible, making like an artwork that goes around like a room or whatever. That'd be cool. I'm sure someone could steal that video idea. One day I'll be able to make a video like that without having to worry about the cost. Now, as a Pokemon card artwork, at first I didn't like this, but it's kind of growing on me a little bit. But what's that mean for the card itself? Well, sure. Now, this is kind of like, to begin with, buy too high, and then it came crashing down when the set was released. Now, out of all the special illustration rares, wasn't on everyone's radar. It's nothing too special. It dropped, what, 30%. Overall, it's gained 4% from this. To me, it's gained like the 20% from here, however, but I know people will argue that in the comments down below, but I think people are going, well, it's a special illustration rare, there's a premium Surging Sparks that would lift this price. And it kind of has. So actually, by being able to get this for $18, $20 is amazing. And this is one of those cards that if Surging Sparks and the Pokemon market does keep going the way it is, for another like 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever, this is one of those cards that could become a $50 card quite easily, and therefore you've doubled your money on it and you just sell them. That's obviously risking all of that. It could come crashing down, and it's kind of looping back and like staying a bit flat. But yeah, if you can get this card for like $20, then actually I say it's not a bad bet to try and go for it for the future. So definitely an interesting one on this one, but I feel like it's the classic. It's one of the cheaper ones, so it's easier for people to get hold of. So you're naturally going to get a graph like this, and I think this card in terms of artwork is growing on people as well. So with all that together, then yes, this potentially has a lot going for it for the future, but I still think it's overvalued at the moment, and that's just Pokemon at the moment. A lot of stuff is overvalued, at least in my opinion. That's not to say it is, but I don't want people to be spending lots of money for the sake of it. Next up, we have the Alone Executor EX special illustration rare, and it's got the Terra form on it, so it's got the rainbow of the Scarlet Violet era. And again, this is sort of your more classical look. And I know when the set came out, people liked this and like the look of it. And honestly, I thought this was going to be an $80 card, just based on the card itself. And this card in particular has got caught up in the hype of Surging Sparks, especially when obviously you've got better looking cards in general and more popular Pokemon. So this is kind of like this is the one that sort of got left behind, shall we say. It's also a lot of people been able to pull this. It seems quite easy to pull relative compared to the rest of the set and special illustration rares. And that kind of is reflected in the price. So yes, lots of it is being sold. Lots of people are buying, like, don't get me wrong. Actually, I say lots of people are buying compared to some of the other stuff where it's like 30, 40, 80 a day or over a couple of day period. Actually, it's not that high. So this is your classic, which is what I normally talk about in most sets that I do this. Way too high, overhyped, and it comes down. As soon as the card comes out onto the market, it kind of not crashes, but definitely drops. It's like, and not only has this card like lost 50%, okay, 48%, whatever, it's now kind of flat. So will it go up or down? It could go either way still. And the fact it's gone flat just means there isn't much to this card in terms of the market. The sentiment towards it isn't necessarily that it's worth more. People feel this is around the $50 mark card. And to be fair, it's a special illustration rare. It is a cool looking card, so that kind of makes sense. Next up is our first trainer card. That's right. Out of all of these, in terms of value, I'm just looking at like price and what's going on. It's all about the Pokemon in this set. Especially in English, it normally is, but we'll get onto Lycia's Appeal. So this is the waifu of the set. Again, I hate that term, etc. But this is the special illustration rare for Lycia's Appeal. And I feel like no matter what set it is, even the owners and Miriam's up to a point, that the trainer cards, especially in English, I know it's slightly different in the Japanese market, these always come out way, way overhyped and come crashing down. And this is no different. It's lost 62% in value, $60, and I guess people are buying it around the 60, but I can see this dropping. I can see this doing essentially what Miriam did in Scarlet and Violet, lots of hype, solid cards, keep a premium of like 60, and it's become like a $20 to $30 card. That's generally how I see this card, and I don't see Surging Sparks keeping this up because it's not a Pokemon. Literally as simple as that. I know people might disagree with that, but that is how I look at this. That is literally because it's a trainer card, I know it's a special illustration rare, and it's a cool card, but comparatively to the rest of the cards in the set of the same sort of value and rarity, etc., yeah, I see this going down to becoming a $30 card. So I'm going to wait on this one personally, but let me know if you disagree with that one, if actually trainer cards are amazing and this should be valued a lot higher, because it'd be interesting to have a conversation in the comments. Next up is Hydreigon EX, And this is similar to the Alone Executor, that it is a cool card. It's got the rainbow effect on it, again overhyped, and it's just come down. This could go down even further. So at the moment it's around the $73 mark. I reckon it's going to go down to like 60, 65. So that'd be interesting to see if that happens. Like it could go down to minus 45%. And this is what we're normally used to seeing. Most of the stuff we've seen has been, you know, prices all over the place or actually gone skyrocketing up. But apart from one other card we'll get onto in a second, a lot of the set is doing this. A lot of the set is doing what most sets do. But it's not always talked about, okay? Not every card in a set is going to go up. Not every card in a set is going to skyrocket in price. Actually, a lot of cards will do this because it's very rare for a set to have so much value in every single card in every special illustration rare. Prismatic Evolution might change that, but that's next set. So it's definitely something to think about. Not every card in the set is going to be Pikachu EX. Simple as. So we do get some normality here. Okay, we might see that in a couple more cards. So next one is, okay, we have another trainer card. And again, same company, $60. It's not a $60 card. Now the reason why I've put this on is because I wanted to put a second gold card on it. And it's also a playable card. So I know people don't always think it, but playability does affect pricing, especially with big tournaments and very playable cards that go in multiple decks, not just like a niche deck. So Night Stretcher is definitely one of them. So I thought I'd put it on here. And yeah, it's kind of plateauing around the $25 mark. It is slowly going down a little bit. $25, like it could become a $20 card. At the moment, but 25. I can see it going back up to 30. I can see it going, yeah, staying that line at the 30. But this is kind of done with, you know, people might have bought this early because they wanted to play with it. But definitely, it's not Earthen Vessel. It was never going to be a $50 card. But I just want to put this in there that, again, some normality to what happens with Pokemon cards in Scarlet Violet era. But yeah, so even the other gold cards are dropping in price and don't pay over double is all I'm going to say. But back to normal, I am warning you about paying stupid prices for cards that are definitely not worth it. It's only taken most of the video. Here we go. It's not quite the Pikachu still, but I thought this one was interesting. So it is the full art. We don't always talk about full arts when I do these videos. This one's interesting because it's Pikachu EX, you know, similar to the gold version. And yes, it's dropped in price, but I just wanted to see this, that it dropped when it came out. And then, you know, because it was overvalued naturally. But actually, since it's come out, it has gone up. And it's seen this line here that it's kind of got the Surging Sparks Pikachu EX tax on it. And again, it's another version you can put in your deck if you want to have it other than the normal one. So I thought I'd put this in. It's interesting. Like, yes, it is going down. But since it came out, it has gone up. And it'd be interesting to see as a full art card if this will keep its price, okay? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this kind of card keeps its price as a full art card around the $25, $26, or if it would just come plummeting down to like a $10 to $15 card, or in fact, Pikachu EX is such a strong card in the game, people's favorite Pokemon, that it will just carry on going up. And I just put this in this because I feel like this is another card that people forgot about. It's another special illustration rare. Like I said, it's quite a lot in this set. And boom. I just wanted another example of the set is doing what every other set is doing in a Scarlet Violet era. It's dropping in price. There's just a handful that aren't, and that's what's getting talked about on most. So before we get into the big Pikachu EX, quick summary. There's some big cards in the set. There's a lot of prices, and there's a good half a dozen cards that are bumping the set up massively. Outside of them, however, lots of the cards are doing what every other set in the Scarlet Violet era has done, is that comes out overhyped, people buy early, and then it drops, and it finds its floor within a month. So, and again, price could still go down after that. So I just wanted to put that out there. I appreciate everyone's got this far in the video, but let's get on to the Pikachu EX, which I know everyone wants to talk about. It's an amazing card in terms of visual, etc. I've not opened it, obviously. I've not opened anything, but I have seen someone open this card, and I've seen it sort of physically in your hand, and it does look amazing. Like, there's no doubt about it. Personally, is this card worth its price? No. However, there's no denying it, okay? This kept its hype, like, throughout all of sort of pre-release part and spoilers, etc. And then it came out, and it just would not stop. Almost 634. Someone sold on this. Or 1 month snapshot, sorry, down here, $660. Now, I do think that was unsustainable, and it kind of showed in the graph. At one point, I thought it might peak at 700, and there might be some eBay listings for that, however. But yeah, it was always going to come back down. Like, I think it'd be silly to think it wasn't. At the moment, it's kind of seeing it's around know it's got 443, but let's call it 450. 450 is still an incredible price. Now, will it drop more? I reckon it will drop more. By much? Do you know what? I don't know. I don't think it will drop by much. Now, who knows with this card? Who knows? I think this card would be one of those cards that just has a premium. Is it the Moonbyon of Scarlet and Violet in terms of Pikachu EX? You know, when you talk about the Sword and Shield era, you've got the Gengar, you've got the Giratina, obviously Moonbyon. Is this going to be one of those cards that's up there? So at the moment, you've got Pikachu EX, you've got Greninja, you've got the Bubble Mew, you've obviously got Charizard. When I say Charizard, the 151 Charizard, I think still the most expensive, unless it is the Paldean Fates one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't be Obsidian Flames because they've all tanked in price, but let's not talk about that set. So much hope and so little actually gained. Anyway, so yes, this card in particular could go down, but it is the most expensive Scarlet and Violet era card. No other card has kind of come out at this price range straight away and then not just tanked. All other cards have done that in, even the cards we've talked about. Greninja's kind of come close to this in terms of it's still at a certain price point and went up, which was above what people were thinking it would. But this card has sort of defied expectations. Now, why is that? It's a very playable card. It's Pikachu. We haven't had a Pikachu set or whatever, Pikachu card in the Scarlet and Violet era at all, I believe, in this quantity, in this kind of style, as special illustration rares and a set built around it. And I like Vivid Voltage was the Sword and Shield version, or the Pikachu set in that. Could be to do with the Pokemon market at the moment. And I think with everything going on, this card was always going to go up. I would love to get this card, and I think I've said it on this channel before. At the moment, I don't see, for the foreseeable future, me ever being able to buy this card. So unless I pack it, win it, get given it, which, you know, if you can afford to give me this, then you're a millionaire. Or I trade up with like 20 million cards my side. Not actually sure what's realistic in that, but hey, we can dream. So absolute craziness. So like I said, that is Surgeon's Box at the moment. It's pretty much a month. It's getting on for a month being out. Let's say 3 weeks. Prices all over the place, and it can still be all over the place. There's so much room for prices to go up and down a set. It's genuinely incredible. It's a case study within itself. But I do want to point out that actually this set is being bumped up and held up by a handful of cards. There are more cards to this set that have gone down in price that are affordable to get, and maybe those cards might be the ones to concentrate on. I'll be keeping an eye on this set and be doing more videos. And if anything special particular happens with the cards and any cards that sort of break out anywhere, it's like happens to this Pikachu EX card, then I will be doing a video about it and let you guys know. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and if you want to watch more videos on the Pokemon market and on my channel, then make sure you check out these two here. See you next one.